So let's look at combining function values using a table. So what we can see here is we have our kind of shared inputs of x, and then we can see the function outputs for f of x, function outputs for g of x. And sometimes what can help here is just kind of separating where x is from the function outputs, so you don't mix them up. So those are our x values. So if I wanted to find f minus g of 3, say in a longer form, that's the same thing as f of 3 minus g of 3. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at my input of 3, and what I want to do is take the difference of those two outputs, specifically starting with that output of 1 minus the output of 2. So that would be 1 minus 2, which would give us a negative 1. And that's it. Multiplication, so I'd want to take f of 6 times g of 6. So with that, I'm looking at my input of 6, and I want to multiply the two outputs together. So I'm taking 7 times 3, which is 21. For division, I'm looking at my input of 1, so I want the division of these two pieces where g is in the numerator. So I want to take g of 1 divided by f of 1, and g of 1 is an output of 4 over f of 1, which is an output of 6. And I'm just going to simplify that down to a 2/3. This next one, it's a difference in outputs. Notice it's not combined together, and it's because we're using different input values. So f of 3, I'm going to my x value of 3, and then I want to see what f of x is giving me, which is 1. And then minus f of 2, so going to my input value of 2 and seeing what f of x is giving me, which is 3. So 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. Now is f of 3 minus 2. After we get in the habit of doing these, feel like you want to separate it up, and you might even be inclined to separate it up to be that f of 3 minus f of 2. But wait, because what we actually want to do is just simplify the inside there. There's this calculation that's being done that we know how to do. 3 minus 2 is just equal to 1. So really what we're doing here is looking at f of 1. So our input is a positive 1, so we grab f of x, which is 6. So you can see we get a different answer out from this separated form. So there's this difference between, is the subtraction happening with the outputs, or is the subtraction happening with the inputs? If it's with the inputs, then you just simplify it down first. If it's with the outputs, then you use your table output values. F of 3 minus 1 over 2. So f of 3 would be 1, and then minus f of 1, which is 6, all over 2, which would be a negative 5 halves. So with this, you're combining values through subtraction, addition, multiplication, division. And with that, just take your time with reading the table and making sure you're grabbing the correct outputs in the correct order. And if it helps, do this kind of separation of where the inputs are from the outputs so that they don't get mixed up.